Bu is related to the military, the martial. Gei in turn means art or performance, so Bugei is a joining of kanji which has an interpretation, art or performance of war, denoting a more generic aspect which includes and embraces the diverse specialties not only of Bujutsu but of its sub-specializations. Bujutsu in turn denotes the strategy or warrior arts, the way by which the practice reaches its objectives. Bugei or military art had its origins in old Japan, though it was only studied for purposes of warfare. Nowadays, its ideology is totally centered around the tradition of the art. For this reason, all the disciplines have a common relation: the search for reality and efficiency, an essential factor for the training of a warrior. It was in the Tokugawa era, also known as the Edo period, 1603 to 1868 after God, when the military culture reached its historic and technical height. The population was divided into four social classes: samurai, farm workers, craftsmen, and traders. The samurai were the dominant class. They held absolute power over the people and their lands, having the sword and their family name as their symbol. They possessed an honored code denominated Bushido. Approximately 9 centuries of expression of military power in Japan shows that the nation was imbued with ideals and ethics particular to those warriors, with an impressive sense of mission. Those elements which drove the Bushi to act in important scenarios of Japanese history were strongly surrounded by a firm belief in the divine origin of Japan, with a determination that would confirm the belief in the power of weapons, even though it implied death. The code of behavior demanded an unquestionable obedience to the mandates of one's immediate superior, to whom was attributed a link with the divine past. Bugei was taught in the military schools, Bujutsu Ryu, that were so widespread throughout Japan that it is impossible to know the exact number of them. Yorike Mitsuguchi, who would later change his name to Manabo Ogawa, was the ancestor of the whole genealogical tree of the Ogawa family. Yorike was a priest and believed in the messages from the gods as the initial way of elevation. After that, Manabo was recognized by the priestess as the direct Kokeisha successor of the traditional lineage of the Kawa village. It is thought that he adopted the name Ogawa. It's very likely a homage to his rebirth in the waters of the little river that ran through the village. The Kaze no Ryu Bugei came to Brazil through the Ogawa family, which disembarked at the Santos port at an undetermined date and which has as its reference the year 1935, being established in the state of Paraná in the south of Brazil. Shidoshi Jordan Augusto initiated his trajectory in Bugei through Katsuo Ogawa and Kibashi Hirayama. Later on, under the guidance of Roberto Cuneo Araki, he achieved the grade of Shidoshi from the hands of Ogawa Hiroshi, and along with it, the permission to teach the tradition of the lineage. Into the development of the techniques by Ogawa Hiroshi himself. So they say that until the decade of the 70s, in Brazil our lineage was also called Ogawa Ryu, since much was developed by way of efficiency thanks to our soke. It is possible, therefore, to see difference in what concerns Kakuto no Bujutsu, real way of war, when compared to the Kaze no Ryu from Brazil and other countries. Within the study of Bugei from the Ogawa lineage are the arts of Kobujutsu and Daijutsu, literally translated as all art of war, Ko all, Bu war, Jutsu art. This word has been very much utilized as a reference to the practice with weapons. In fact, through the years, there has been great confusion about the martial arts. It is common that the Japanese arts use expressions in accord with the native language. That being so, It is logical that many terms will be similar. Certain classic styles of jiu-jitsu, for example, commonly denominate the practice with weapons as kobujutsu, but not including the practice of specific cold weapons like sai, tonfa, kama, etc. In this way, it is correct to affirm that, in these cases, the term kobujutsu is utilized to refer to practices with classic weapons, such as the jo, bokuto, tanto, etc., only being employed as all art of war. There are many arts practiced in the Ogawa Ryu. Among them are kenjutsu, iaijutsu, battojutsu, jujutsu, bojutsu, tambojutsu, tantojutsu, yarijutsu, sojutsu, naginata jutsu, saijutsu, kamajutsu, kusari fundo, nawa no gikko, and kyujutsu. Taijutsu is a Japanese term that means corporal martial arts, corporal art. Tai means body and jutsu art. Despite being quite an indeterminate word, Taijutsu is a very old way of fighting which endeavored to perfect and prepare students for all kinds of situations in which they did not have weapons or any other kind of protection except their own body. With this intention, the art took very wide dimensions due to the infinite situations that might arise in corporal fighting. So as many weapons have been developed to offer advantages in combat and through time, and from the diverse cultures, one can find an immense variety with very different ends. The human body has also improved in its use of structural components, the head, trunk, and limbs, with attack and defensive aims. In Japan, just as in any other warrior country, unarmed combat techniques became so effective that they went on to be studied and applied against any kind of adversary, whether armor or not. The study of angles, traction, impact, and bars that could be done with the body and the damage that they could bring about in certain areas have been exhaustively studied to the point where the unarmed arts could achieve the same advantages with an adversary with the most dangerous of weapons. It is possible to find, for example, the unarmed technical applications against an adversary with knife, tantodori, or with sword, shinken shirahadori. Taijutsu is basically divided into three arts of body contact. The part that studies the way of grabbing, immobilizations and chokes is jujutsu, a very old art that descends from kumiuchi, yoroi kumiuchi in the case of using armor, a way of fighting that sought to take the adversaries to the ground, very effective for the development of the mind-body connection. Still within Jiu-Jitsu, for its immense number of techniques and immobilizations, one studies with quite a lot of emphasis fighting with the feet, but with a connotation closer to gripping. Another part of Taijutsu is Kenpo, an art that deals with aggression and bodily strength. The philosophy of Kenpo is to look for the naturalness of the body in union with its aggression. This violent way of corporal fighting was developed with warfare objectives. And to complete Taijutsu, we have Aiki-Jujutsu, a very old fighting technique based on harmony and on the use of internal energy known as ki. Nonetheless, some characteristic sequences are utilized within those of Jujutsu and Aiki-Jujutsu as forms of Seitei-gata. The art is known as Koppojutsu and emphasizes attacking the bones. Another factor that makes Taijutsu extremely effective is the use of bars and angles of locks, fractures, and twisting of joints, known as Kansetsu no Gikko. There are many historic explanations about why there are so many techniques dedicated to the joints. The most common version refers to the origin of armor, which was made to be flexible and therefore left only the joints accessible as targets of attack. Makimono, traditional documents. If we analyze well the composition of a text, no matter how good it is, it will never truly express programmatic content existent in the knowledge of a professional. For the most traditional bouquet masters, what is written down on a paper and in documents might not be as significant as the analysis of techniques and their executions. Even so, it is the best reference or legacy of a master to a student insofar as the tradition of his thoughts and his origin go. In the old days, the values of a training period in Koryu were placed in documents that had the name of Kaiden, so that related nomenclatures were spread to Menkyo, Kaiden, Densho, Kaidensho, Makimono, Ryusho, and others. Though there are studies that investigate the differences among each one of them and their respective applications, with the legacy of Gendai Budo, a great doubt arose concerning the grades and titles that were attributed. With the rise of modern arts, which utilize the Dan-Kyu grade system, the information from the past has remained somewhat adrift and suffocated by the rise of new arts. The Kaiden system is known in the West as a license to transmit certain knowledge. In the most traditional schools, apart from Kaiden, there is the Makimono, a document that contains the necessary specifications of each ryu and the specifications of its genealogy. For decades, there were many specifications in these documents. Their contents were valued by way of the continuity and direction of a certain ryu, flow, current, nagare, which refers to the lineage, which in the consistency of the facts determine the real heirs and holders of the knowledge of that school. Ishino Shihan presented the translation of the documents that represent the Brazilian Bouquet Society and that holds Shidoshi Jordan Augusto as Daihyousha or representative of the Ogawa techniques in Koryu Seitei Gata, established forms in a specific order. Shidoshi Jordan Augusto, referring to the Makimono, affirmed in an interview, "Any and all documents must be seen as a reminder that you make up or have made up part of something important, something that was good for you, nothing more." And he goes further. The document doesn't make you special in anything, quite the opposite. All that is simple becomes a target. As for the fact that many support themselves in the documents to conquer a space they think they need, we have to remember that we are all, at some point in our interior, fragile and small. The illusionary world is there and we all participate in it. Respect must come from the inside out, not from the outside in.